A look back at My Little Pony, The Fundamentals of Magic.
This video is not intended for children under the age of 13 years old. I'm an adult woman, not a child, and if the comments are set off, it's because YouTube did it, not me.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Daisy Spines here to talk about a lesser known batch of sorts from the My Little Pony FIM era, Fundamentals of Magic, and fair warning, I will be spoiling these, but as these are Eclipso, these will also spoil some content up to Season 8 of the show. If you are not up to date on both the show and these sorts, I suggest you watch at your own risk or check it out. As for the sorts, you will only use about 8 minutes of your time to watch them here on YouTube, so they're really easy to catch up on. I wanted to talk about this because it's a school-based set of sorts, and the school year is about to start for most of you, or has started, depending on when this was posted and who's listening. For some background, Fundamental Magic is the title of a series of sorts, released weekly on the Hasbro YouTube channel and some other places from February 22nd and March 22nd, 2018. That being said, a few months before these officially started airing, a pilot was released on September 1st, 2017. For the runtime of these episodes, there are 5 episodes / sorts, and the runtime is anywhere between 1 minute and 19 seconds and 1 minute and 91 seconds, which gives you about 8 minutes of content altogether for the series. Celestia teaches basics of magic at the School for Gifted Unicorns in all of these, and it is basically Eclipso with animated segments that are unique at the beginning and end of each sort for its basic structure. Now we're going to move into characterization. The only character with large or major emphasis in this is Celestia. She frequently references other characters. They're not really the point. The students don't really do much or say much, really. So it's just a Celestia one. It's very in line with how she is represented. It's nice to see her doing stuff at her school. Moving on to the voice acting, again, we have only Celestia. Her original VA is retained, Nicole Oliver, and she does great here in this role. Obviously, she only voices one character with speaking lines, but I will say I do like how the voice acting's done. For animation, we have some unique segments right at the beginning and end, done in the standard So style, but a little bit Season 1 quality, which minus the pitfalls of Season 1, like going off model, it's very good. And then in the middle, we have reused clips from the show that are kind of like, for lack of a better term, remixed, and they have effects put over them, so they're just edited a lot. And it gives it a very storybook-like feel. It's kind of like hand into a portal, and the art style changes just a wee bit, but it retains the standard look of Gen 4. For our world building, this takes place around Season 8. I do not think it is canon or fully canon, and this is largely because Snips and Snails are here. No offense to them, but I doubt that they are in the School of Gifted Unicorns or have that type of material. On that note, we actually get to see her teaching at her own school, which is nice. She explains things in a very Celestia-y way, tells them exactly what they need to know and nothing more for their lessons. I would say that it obviously states things we used to already know about the story if you've already watched up to Season 8. And we see a lot of references to the main line. So as far as world building goes, we see a ton of artifacts, and we see them reference a bunch of locations. So let's move on to music. For the music, we don't have any actual songs really, and I couldn't even find credit for the audio effects done, so like who was in charge of their soundtrack team or whatever for this. So there's nothing really to talk about during this category. Let's move on to the first impression. I remember finding these a little bit after the main show had ended, and I was surprised that I had never heard of anyone talk about these. I thought this was fun. There really wasn't anything wrong. I think the best part for me is that they had some fun little things I noticed in the background, and little callbacks were sweet. We are going to move on to the sorts from here. So starting off with the first sort, which is Types of Magic. The plot follows Princess Celestia explaining to her students different types of magic found within Equestria, mostly pony-based magic for the purposes of this sort. My thought. So first thing, I noticed off-color Sweetie Belle from Call the Cutie in here, and that caught my eye the entire time we were in that first beginning section. So I'm now assuming that she moved to Canterlot and enrolled in the School for Gifted Unicorns. I'm just out of pocket, but where did she go really? Maybe that actually was a separate character and not a miscolor. Anyway, the rest of it is just talking about established magic system in Equestria. So we have Earth Pony, Pegasi, Unicorn, and Alicorn magic, that whole thing, and it kind of references Discord a little bit here, but not much. For our next sort, we have magical creatures. Princess Celestia explains to her students what the magical creatures that inhabit Equestria's borders are, a little bit about what they do, and the potential threats they pose. This is a fun sort. Anytime we're talking about a non-pony creature, I am very happy. I think it's nice that they talk about them and inform young equestrians about such creatures. At least School for Gifted Unicorn enrollees get to know about these creatures. Other than that, I don't really have anything to say other than C kind of describes Stephen Magnet as himself, which is funny. She's like, and then there's Stephen Magnet, kind of doing his thing. Our next sort is spells. In this sort, Celestia teaches the students about variations of different types of magical spells, pros and cons, and basically a little general safety. So my thought, this one is fun. This one has a lot more references to Starlight Glimmer for whatever reason. She basically talks about how spells are used in a very basic manner, why they're used, who uses them, and why you should be careful. And that's sort of the whole thing, so she gives examples in like the little clipso of different things that could go wrong or could go right and how they're used. And right at the end, they do a nice little early callback to the orange frog from earlier seasons that was conjured by Twilight when she was showing them transformation spells right at the end. I really liked that. Let's move on to magical objects, which is our fourth sort. Princess Celestia teaches her students about various magical objects around Equestria. This includes showing them the good artifacts that hold positive power, those that are almost only used for destruction, and kind of just generally describing to be safe with said objects. My thoughts. I really like this sort. I think this one probably mostly caught my eye due to several important artifacts being mentioned in it. I thought that was fun. A big one that I liked her referencing is like Daring Do. She almost makes it sound like she is aware of Daring Do in universe doing these things. She straight up had the Alicorn amulet in the room with her and she was interacting with it while talking to the students, which is just so Celestia of her. But let's move on to when magic goes wrong. In this sort, Princess Celestia teaches her students about positive and negative repercussions of using one's magic, provides several examples of how things can go wrong or right, and that's it. My thoughts. So this is an interesting one, and I thought this was fun. Dark magic use, which just implies that some ponies have dark magic in them, and sometimes they can control it, and sometimes they can't. And for the example of difficulty controlling, it was Stygian, and for being able to control when someone's magic spirals into the dark zone, her little message at the end is just to ask the main six to help you, and then she invites them in the classroom with this quick little nod like, hey, there's help there if you ever find yourself overwhelmed by dark magic. So that rounds out my thoughts on these 5 sorts from many years ago. If you enjoyed this video, thank you. I was thinking, like, what's a good school-based video to make about My Little Pony, and this is what I came up with on the topic. Hopefully you guys appreciate my effort, and see you guys very soon again. This has been Daisy Spines signing out. Bye!